evening, everybody, and welcome to You, Me, and He, a podcast that will give you the fire in your trouser. I'm your host, Rob Lambert, and I'm joined by my co-host.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
This is Juke.
Do you want no fell scuba? What's wrong?
Dude, what an underrated movie, man.
Oh, for sure.
Do you remember the first time we watched Along Came Polly? Dude, we were busting. You don't remember? Oh my gosh, man, we were.
I've seen it a
so
lot,
hard.
dude. That movie's so funny.
I think I remember that being the first time I ever actually heard the phrase or the term "shark" coined. Like,
I agree.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I was like, "That's fantastic."
Dude, who was the Baldwin that was in that movie?
Stephen Baldwin?
Is it Stephen?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was hilarious, dude, when he's like rubbing his ears while he's taking a leak in the bathroom.
No, that's Alec.
No, that was Alec.
That's
That was
Baldwin.
Alec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then pats him on the butt. Like, well, is that the
my
usual?
gosh.
Don't look shocked, Ruben. She was a dime store hooker, and she always will be.
Yeah, dude. There's some good ones. That's for sure.
If you've never seen Along Came Polly, just go out and watch it. But hey, we digress. Hey, welcome to the show tonight. We're going to get into an awesome topic. I'm not going to spoil it. I mean, you probably already read it in the episode name, but that's fine. I mean, if you didn't. But before we launch in, a couple things I want to cover. Number one, dude. Okay, so this week, there's another podcast out there that we're good friends with on Twitter and fans of called the Work-Life Imbalance Podcast. And these guys, the way I like to liken it to if the movie Office Space had a podcast, okay? Like they're talking about all the crazy things that happen at work and in the office and some of the stuff that is just ridiculous that goes down in corporate America. But it's so good. And, dude, these guys, in their latest episode, I believe it was episode 27, it's called Mug Misappropriation. These guys throw down a promo for our show that was, I mean, it brought a tear to my eye. It was so beautiful. Am I right here, guys?
Very
yeah,
kind.
I'm just gonna, I'm gonna reach out right now and just say namaste. No, wait, no, that's not it. Right? It's namaste. That's right. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Namaste, guys. Thanks, Namaste.
Oh my gosh. Let us in the minji. No, it was really awesome, and we really
Japanese,
appreciate it. Are you trying to say domo?
I think I got my languages messed up.
Domo arigato
right now.
Oh my gosh. But if you have not checked out Work-Life Imbalance, you should go check them out. They're on Twitter at WL Imbalance. You can also find them on iTunes. Just search Work-Life Imbalance Podcast. These are some good guys who are producing a great show. And these are guys who are also putting together an amazing community on Twitter for other podcasts and promoting each other. And they're just doing a lot for the podcast scene. So make sure you go check out their show.
They also did make a comment, though, about how we don't cuss or drop F-bombs. So I wanted to do a little shout out, guys. Here we go.
What?
Fudge.
Did you see a fudge?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's go around. Hey, let's go around the circle. But what do you think about that one?
Well, try and top this. Shart.
Now you're
Took
crossing
his
a line.
shart.
Now you're crossing a line.
Anyways, go check them out. So fellas, 4th of July. Was it amazing? We celebrated the independence of this great country. Did you have a good 4th of July?
No. It just reminded me how we're not independent anymore. So,
Yeah, dude.
4th of July is always kind of a letdown for me.
I sat sobbing inside while everyone else was cheering out there, dude. Just thinking about the $30,000 I'm paying in taxes this year.
Oh my!
Love you California.
Did you just go get a big box of Lipton tea and dump it in the lake?
You know that California is not a country, and 4th of July isn't for California.
Oh, really? I thought it was a state thing. You guys do 4th of July out in Utah?
Here's the deal. We do have 4th of July, but...
Wait, everybody has a 4th of July, right? everywhere in
true,
the
no matter
world
where
has a
you live.
4th of July?
So
I don't know.
we So we celebrate 4th of July, but there's something interesting that happens in Utah. So how do I put this? There is a certain sect of people here in Utah who have a July holiday that's even more crazier than 4th of July. On July 24th, they celebrate Pioneer Day. And the fireworks are even more ridiculous on Pioneer Day. So this certain sect of people, they celebrate Pioneer Day. The rest of us call it Pie and Beer Day. And it's just an excuse
Even better.
to just continue to blow things up, to drink a good beer, and then eat some pie. So
It's basically the 5th of July.
yeah, pretty much.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, that sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah,
I like
it's just July is basically just a war zone in Utah. There's just explosions every day, all night. It's amazing.
People are walking out of their houses, hopped up on sarsaparilla, shooting their guns in the air, you know.
I will tell you, Drew, on the 4th of July, I did get to go to a buddy's house, and dude, mean game of cornhole, bro. Mean game of cornhole.
Did you guys?
You would have been proud.
Touch each other's bags.
There it is.
I'm just, common courtesy. That's all I'm going to say. Common courtesy. All right, so
You don't have to say his name. We just need a yes or no.
honestly, I just met him that night. I don't remember his name, but let's move on. So, fellas, this week,
Started the You and Me podcast, huh?
yeah, for real. So this week, look, we're all husbands, okay?
Once again,
Fathers,
not together.
not to each other. Yeah, that's right.
To each
yes.
other.
Not brother husbands. We're all husbands, fathers, father soon to be, all that. Congrats, Drew.
Oh, thanks.
Today, it was actually today, my wife, after 12 years of marriage, my wife uttered those words that I think every man, every husband fears that your wife will say. We're in the bathroom, we're getting ready for the day. She's on Instagram and she's looking at Instagram stories, and she looks over at me and she says, and I'll never forget these words because they just resonate so hard with you. She says, "Taylor Swift is on tour. I want to go."
Oh,
And
my
at that
God.
moment, I got so scared, guys. I got so
I'm
scared.
terrified for you. I'm terrified for you.
Now, let me ask you a question. This made me think. We're all dads. We're all dads of girls. Okay. Soon to be. Congrats, Drew.
Thank you.
I feel.
Namaste.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Buenos noches. I feel like all of us have like one, there's like those One Direction concerts that you look around and you see all the dads at. Now, obviously, One Direction isn't around anymore, but don't ask me why I know that. But we all have like
Were
that
you
One
playing cornhole
Direction
with them the other night?
Dude, I bet One Direction would play mean cornhole. They're all in sync. Okay. So anyway.
No. NSYNC was a different band.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay, sorry. Okay, I apologize.
Also, probably aces at cornhole.
But it made me think we probably all have that moment waiting for us in the future where we're at some concert with our daughters and we're just embarrassed to be there, but you look around and you see the other dads. And that made me think, is there a concert maybe that you've been to that you're just, as soon as you got there, you're like, I've made a horrible decision? Maybe something you were embarrassed to say, yes, I went and saw this person live.
Dude, my wife, she's 9 years younger than me, and last year she wanted to see.
I totally thought you were going to say almost 9 years younger than me. I was like, is she closing that gap or what?
Yeah, she's getting closer.
Some sort of Benjamin Button thing going on here.
That's where it sounded like you were going, dude. She's almost 9 years younger than me. Last year she was 10 years younger than me. Anyway, I'll let you finish your story.
Oh man, I'm always gonna think of her as like the female version of Benjamin Button now. That's hilarious. So she had been wanting to go see the Chainsmokers, and I'm not really a big fan of the Chainsmokers, and so I bought 2 tickets for her birthday And it took me a while to decide if I was going to go with her. And then I was like, no, I'm just going to go ahead and send one of your friends with you. That seems easy.
Better way to go. Yeah, I can actually draw from personal experience. There was a show that I went to that I was totally pumped about. I thought it was going to be just absolutely phenomenal. It was a Nickelback concert in the Fresno area of California, and I thought it was a great lineup. Hoobastank was there. They played, and I thought they put on a pretty good show. And there was an up-and-coming band that I was also, kind of excited to see. And if anyone's ever seen Hinder live, you would be just as embarrassed as me to say that you've seen Hinder live.
That was pretty terrible. I remember the lead guitarist mid-solo. He was hammered, dude. Hammered.
And I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, mid-solo. It's not going well. It just stops. And then starts trying to pump up the crowd.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm not even kidding. Like tinking notes. And he
like
just
someone
looks out at the audience like with this like dumb smile on his face. And he's just like, he just quits. And yeah, like you said, he just like starts, pumping up the crowd. Like there's no guitar in the music anymore because it was literally a lead singer, a drummer, a bassist, and a guitarist. So if he's not playing, there's no melody. It's gone. And I'm just
like maybe if you cheer loud enough, you won't be able to hear how crappy I am.
It was pretty rough, dude.
It was by far the worst performance I've ever seen live, and I just found myself like
they weren't
asking,
around long.
How? You literally made it this far on Lips of an Angel?
Yeah.
Like literally.
You know what the weird thing about that
so
song?
bad.
The weird thing about that song is it was usually requested at the radio station by girls.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what's that all about? Tell me they didn't have
ridiculous.
daddy issues.
Yeah, for real. So all that to say, fellas, I feel like I'm gonna have an awesome Taylor Swift experience soon, and
I'm going to correct you on that.
You're going to have to buy
I'm gonna
tickets
correct you
within
on
like
that.
15 minutes,
Yeah.
dude.
And
Yeah.
I think your wife and someone else is going to have an awesome Taylor Swift experience. I really don't think you should go worship the high priestess. I'm just saying.
Yo, yeah.
I would
You
back
probably
off of that
shouldn't
one.
send your family there either.
Unless you're
Dude,
trying to get out of that
It's just
situation.
irresponsible, dude.
Like, I want to believe that I would have the willpower to do that, but I just know that eventually I'm just going to be like, Taylor, I love you. I'm going to be in the crowd.
Please don't ever do that again.
Like never. I'm actually starting to think you are a follower in the High Priestess Legion at this point. But
Dude, he's
All I
trying to
say-
take us down from the inside.
did he seriously just go?
I'll say is welcome to New York. Okay, Josh,
Yeah.
how you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. So this week I had an enema and a vasectomy in the same week. Strangely enough, it was during the exact same time. Like, I don't know how this works. Yeah, so
You are the bravest man I know.
I know, dude. I took it.
Wait,
like a
did you
man.
make this was this a decision you made to do this?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
This one caught me by surprise.
Okay.
So
This was an accidental enema.
Slash vasectomy.
oh
my God.
slash vasectomy. So I was on vacation this week. I was vacationing at a lake, at my parents' house that they have on a lake, and my dad has a boat, and it's a pontoon boat, but it's got a lot of horsepower in it, and you can actually pull tubers and wakeboarders and basically anything you want off the back of that thing. Well, they got a new tube. So if you can imagine this tube looks like a donut, but with 3 holes that are oval shaped and triangulate each other, right?
Okay.
So 3 people can ride on this.
Uh-huh.
You, me, and he can ride on this.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And-
I should record the podcast from
Dude,
there.
I really don't think that would be a good idea.
No, I don't recommend it, especially after I tell this story. So anyway, so I'm riding on this thing, and I've got my son to the right-hand side of me. He's 8 years old, and I've got my oldest daughter to the left of me. She's 6 years old, and we're riding in this thing. I'm in the middle, right? And so this lake was really busy, actually, like pretty busy. There's like
Bass Lake.
yeah, dude.
Of course
they're
it
like
was.
wake all over the place, like up and down, right?
Absolutely.
So Dad just hammers. My dad just hammers the boat, dude, and we take off, and we're going, And I'm sitting in the hole of this tube. It's oval shaped, right? So I can sit in it with my feet hanging out on like out towards the front, and the handles are like next to the side of me like this, right? So I'm just basically sitting in a chair with my feet up. Basically, it looks like a lounger.
Lazy boy style.
Yeah, lazy boy style. Anyway, we're going on the lake, dude, and all of a sudden, this rush of water from under the tube just like starts going up my cornhole, just straight up there. And I mean, it was painful, dude. Like it was not
Cleaning you out.
Yeah, I mean, I got out of the tube. I cut it. I'd had enough, and I got out of the tube, and I'm looking back, and yeah, there's a hole in my shorts, just like right there.
Oh,
really?
No, not really, but that's what it might as well have been.
Oh, dude.
Anyway, so like the story this week is actually called Lake Water Enema. And it actually did work because, after the ride, like, I really felt like I had to take a dump, dude. I mean, just like, I just felt like I was holding onto this water and it had to just, like,
oh
be
my
done.
God.
So, like, I mean, I just rolled off the tube into the water, just floated there with my life jacket, looking around. Nobody sees me. Just pull the britches down real quick.
Oh, gross.
Oh, dude.
No.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude,
Hey, calm down. People go number one in that lake all the time.
I don't care.
And you know what's at the bottom of Bass Lake, right?
A bunch of crap.
Bass turds. So
Oh, my gosh.
what's one more?
No,
my
those are
gosh.
human turds, dude.
Oh.
That's way different. You eat way more stuff than a bass does.
Don't worry, I did not leave a floater. It totally sunk. It's all good.
No, dude.
That's all the fiber.
That's like if you put water or put something at the bottom of this and then you hit it a bunch, what happens to it? It spreads everywhere, dude.
Well, yeah, but we don't know that because we left. So.
Drew's like, when I went off the tube, my mouth was open.
Dude.
Anyway, so this same ride, dude, where I just take on all this water, when you're bouncing up and down on the water like that hard, I mean, your manhood's just like slapping the water like as hard as it can. I swear, I probably can't have children anymore.
That's good.
It's
you should probably stop.
Good. Yeah, I should stop at 4.
Yeah, you should.
There was no point in continuing on. I'm just saying, like, if you ever get in the wrong tube pulled behind the wrong boat with the wrong driver, you run the risk of a lake water enema and a lake water vasectomy. It could very much happen. So,
Dude, you just don't ride tubes, man.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Let's talk about this. Is there a good position when you're on a tube? Nothing feels good. It hurts no matter what.
Nothing.
And the driver's goal is always, let's see
kick you
how
off.
high this person can go.
Oh, yeah, dude. My
20 miles an hour, 25
my daughter,
miles an hour.
Emma, like, she skyrocketed.
I can imagine, dude.
Like, we just hit a bump, dude, and she went flying up. Like, I grabbed the back of her life jacket as she was flying up, and you could see the terror in her face, right?
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, she's not holding on anymore, dude. It's just me. So like, I'm starting to like reach back as like I'm holding onto her life jacket, and I was like, nope, this ain't gonna happen. I just let her go. She just fell in the water. So, yeah,
Dude, it's that sink or swim mentality, right? Daddy loves you.
We'll go back and get her. Hopefully, she didn't fall on my floater.
Oh.
Anyway,
Dude.
so that was my week. Lake water enema. Andrew, how was your week?
It's beautiful.
Dude, it was good. It was long. We live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, and the second bedroom has always been a music room, and I had my drums in there, and I had a bunch of artwork hung up, and it was painted like a dark blue, and it was all cool, you know. Me and my wife are going back and forth on whether or not we were going to convert that into a baby room, or, you know, since we're going to be moving soon, do we just keep it how it is, and then the baby stays in our room, which is probably what's going to happen for the first few months anyway.
Sure.
So we decide, you know, she's been nesting, right?
Of course.
And so she's been really wanting to, you know, convert that into a baby room. And so I said, okay. I said, but no pink. No pink. We could do other colors. I just don't want pink. And we get going on it, dude, and everything's coming together. I spent, by the way, a lot of hours this week putting together baby stuff.
Nice.
Dresser, crib.
Isn't it fun?
I spent a lot of time doing that stuff.
It's a good time though, right?
Yeah, dude. Well,
it's like taking care of your child before they're actually here.
Yes, that's it. That's yes.
That's good. Use that one. Use that. That's called wisdom, right there.
Yes.
Yes. I find myself saying yes a lot.
So we put all this stuff together. We get it all set up and everything. And her mom brings over some curtains to hang in there because I had black, like blackout curtains to make it dark in there.
To go with navy blue?
Well, it wasn't a navy blue. It was like a green blue. I don't know.
Like a forest green blue?
No.
That's good radio.
Okay, anyway.
So her mom comes to hang up the curtains and they're pink.
Awesome.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this is like wrecking my life. Like we have gray walls, I was thinking we can do like some sort of like somewhat neutral colors. Yeah. And then we got a painting from one of our friends, which is super awesome. It looks great, but it's all floral arrangements. It's all flowers. And I'm like, oh man. So now I have this photo and it's like a panoramic of the room and it's all like a girl's room. And in the dark corner over here, there's my drum set.
Like, what kind of theme was this nursery going for?
Dude, I have to like close my eyes in order to get in the zone, so that I could play my drums effectively. Otherwise, I'm just like, dude, what am I doing in here?
Nah, dude, you just need to learn all the Wiggles tunes, bro. You'll be good.
Or I was going to say you find yourself just playing nothing but Donald Lewis lately, huh?
Yeah, I've been really hitting on
He was doing that anyway, though.
It's nothing new. And then when I got some time, I was watching that documentary again, Explained, and it was on designer DNA. And
be honest. Did you watch K-pop again?
Just
a third time?
Just once. I had to get warmed up to get in the mind frame. So it was on designer DNA, and all it's talking about is how they can manipulate people's DNA. Like babies. So if you want to pick blue eyes, you could pick blue eyes, or they could edit out certain things. And the whole time, dude, it's a 20-minute episode. The whole time I'm like, nope, this is playing God. Absolutely not. No way. And then at the end, I saw a thing, and it was like, cure male pattern baldness. And I'm like, where do I donate? I'm all looking for pages on Instagram.
This is some Orwellian crap right here. Oh.
Where can I volunteer my time?
For $1 a day. All right, well, on that note, when we come back, we're going to jump into an awesome topic. We're going to be talking the worst songs to come on the radio after you get in a fight in your car. We've all been in that scenario, so stick around, and we'll be right back. All right, and welcome back to You, Me, and He. Tonight we're talking the worst songs to come on the radio after you get in a fight in the car. We've all been in that situation where maybe you're there with the person you love and you're just having a disagreement. Things get a little heated, and then it sort of ends and you want to turn up the radio, and then just the worst, most awkward song comes on to fill that space. So tonight that's what we want to talk about. So Josh, please give us an example of what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So I actually have two. I've got one from a real life experience, and then another one that I think would just absolutely be like the worst situation you can find yourself in. So I'm going to start with the actual real life experience. Back in 2001, when my wife and I were still in college, we were just dating at that time. We were driving our way back to college from home, which is like a 2.5-hour drive, right? And during this period of, I'm not going to apologize for this. I'm a pretty eclectic person. I'm a pretty eclectic person. You guys know, like, some of my favorite bands, Killswitch Engage, Under Oath, Bullets for My Valentine. I like the hardcore music, but I'm also a sucker for musicals. Like,
sure,
movies.
As are we all.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for them. I love them. I don't apologize for it. I really enjoy them. So one of the movies that my wife and I were really into at this time was Moulin Rouge. right?
Absolutely.
It was fantastic. Baz Luhrmann did a great job with this movie, right? So oftentimes when we were driving long distances in the car, we would actually listen to the soundtrack, right? And we would sing to the soundtrack. Like I would actually do like all of Ewan McGregor's, song parts, and she would actually sing Nicole Kidman's parts. Like we just had a lot of fun doing this, right? Well, this particular trip, we had gotten into an argument over the holidays, like where we were gonna spend holidays, who was gonna spend, holidays with whom, that type of thing. And it was a total like blowout fight. Like, I mean, we were yelling at each other, and we don't, call each other names or anything now. But back then, like I was like, you're being selfish and you're a moron. That's what telling me I was a moron. That type of thing. And anyway, so the car just goes. I drove a '78 Camaro at this time, right? The car just goes like dark. It's just nobody's saying anything. We're just driving there in silence, right? And so I reached down and just pushed play on the stereo, and lo and behold, the disc that's in there is the Moulin Rouge soundtrack, right? Mm-hmm. And the song that's playing is that love medley, like between Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman. And I just let it play for a second. And I mean, this is, obviously kind of awkward. Like we just got done like screaming at each other, calling each other names. And anyway, it gets about a minute into the song. And I start singing the song a little bit, hoping to kind of like mellow everything out. And with her left hand, she just reaches and puts the power button and says, nope. Stopped it right there. And I was like, that was like the longest, darkest, quietest ride I've ever been on. We didn't talk after I dropped her off at school. Like we didn't talk for a few days after that either.
Man.
So yeah, it was just really bad. So I would say if I think this is what it's called, Love Medley was the one that was like my most awkward moment, like after a fight in a car, because that's the one I experienced. But
so that song wasn't strong enough to pull it back together.
No, not. I think today it would actually work. Like if we actually got into an argument, but we fight differently than we used to. Also, now we're more passive aggressive, and if we think it's getting out of control, we just shut down.
Yeah,
and then we could actually play a song like that, and within 3 minutes, we're probably like,
not
totally fine. Yeah, not a big deal. But back
either that
then,
or
whole different story.
Yeah.
Either that or you're like singing it passive aggressively. You're like, we should be lovers. And she's like, we can't do that.
Yeah, dude. That's pretty good. The other one
just one night. There's no way.
Wow, dude.
All
I
that
didn't even
good
think about this.
Yeah.
Should have left the song on, actually.
Exactly.
Anyway, the other one that I thought would be like one of the most awkward moments, man, is if you were... I've never found myself in this position. I'm going to preface this now. I've never found myself in this position and never will or anything else. But if you're driving in the car with your girl who just found out that you cheated on her, and you guys are just like stabbing each other like with words like in the car, right? And like she's probably even beating you while you're driving down the road. I'm guessing that's what's going on, right? And then after everything calms down, you turn on the radio and the first song that comes on is Apologize by One Republic.
It's too late.
Dude, we haven't even gotten that far into this segment, and already I've learned something. If you're going to fight in the car, just leave the radio off. Don't take
It inevitably will always be the worst song that it could possibly be.
Because when you think about it, probably every song out there written is either about cheating or heartbreak. So like your chances aren't good of of a good song coming on unless you like hit the Delilah channel.
Yeah.
So
I remember you remember when Uncle Jackie first moved up here, he had just separated from his wife.
Yeah.
And her name was Diane. And Dude,
no.
his first day of work, we got in the truck, and that song came on. It's all
little ditty about Jack and Diane. And you're like,
and
son of
like, oh man, this is weird. This is weird.
Did he leave it on?
Yeah, dude, I don't know what else to do. I froze. I figured if he didn't want to hear it, he'd probably turn it off.
That's a good story right there too.
You're like, oh, just let me get that real quick. Oh, dude,
That's funny.
dude, I just feel like anytime you fight in the car, I agree with you, Drew. You just need to leave the radio off, because as soon as you reach for that dial, the first song that comes on, it's always going to be something that's incredibly awkward.
Yeah, it's going to be the worst choice.
I want you to imagine yourself. You're in the car with your lady, and you guys are having just this blowout, and it's just rough, crazy. You're just in this space where you feel hopeless. Okay. And then it just goes quiet, and you're just thinking, you know what needs to fill this silence right now? Like, I'm just going to click on the radio. It's harmless. It's harmless. What could it possibly? It'll break the tension. And then the first thing you hear is just a nice little folky tune. And then you just hear somebody singing, I'm going to find my baby, going to hold her tight, going to grab some afternoon delight. I submit that Afternoon Delight is probably the worst song that could possibly come on, because you want to sing along, but you're also, the innuendo is so heavy and it's so light and just beautiful. Oh, it's awkward.
What radio station do you listen to?
Dude, Delilah, bro. Delilah day and night.
Listen to Delilah. That's probably where we all got these songs from.
You know, in your situation, Rob, what I see is, you know, there's no reaching over and shutting the radio off and a nope to cap it off. It's gonna be there's not going to be any Afternoon Delight, nor is there going to be evening or morning delight. So find a different spot to sleep.
Yeah, for real. At the end of the day, pretty much anything that would pop on Delilah is going to be like the worst, because she also has this like that perfect ability to just like speak in that exact moment. She's going to be like, "Hey, listener, you're probably sitting there thinking nothing could possibly make this more awkward. Let me help you out. I'm here for you."
Dude.
Or she's very distinctly going to say, "Rob and Andy, patch things up."
Oh, no. Dude. She hates men. Delilah hates men. It's always the guy's fault.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Instead of getting on this guy why he hasn't proposed in 7 years, why don't you ask her why he doesn't want to? What is it that you're doing?
Whoa. How much Delilah do you listen to?
I know, for real.
I feel like you're watching The Bachelorette now at this point, too.
You know what I mean? So I picked a different song.
If you say "Wind Beneath My Wings," oh, Drew.
Oh, dude. I thought about it, but I feel like I've brought up Bette Midler way too much on the show.
Yeah, for real.
You brought up Bette Midler, Delilah, and now The Bachelorette too much on the show.
Maybe it should be you, me, and she.
What are you drinking there? Is that a cranberry vodka?
And it's probably a LaCroix.
Actually, what are you drinking, Rob?
I finished it, all right? Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, I went with one that was more likely to be heard on radio stations that we would listen to. Well, actually, yours was too, I guess. No Doubt, Don't Speak.
Okay.
No, I could see that.
Everyone knows that's a breakup song.
Oh, I thought you meant just like going for the clear message, like you just got done fighting. Don't speak.
Well, that's the thing, is that only half of the chorus actually applies. Don't speak. I know just what you're saying, so please stop explaining. And then you could skip the "Don't tell me because it hurts," and then go back into "Don't speak. I know what you're thinking. I don't need your reasons." In the chorus.
I'm just gonna cut this song up for you real quick. I want to get to the point. I really don't like what you have to say. I don't like what you're thinking right now.
Or you could just loop "Don't speak" over and over.
Too bad this vehicle didn't come with a record player, huh? Don't speak. Don't speak.
Dude, no, if you look at the verse lyrics, dude, you could sing this to your lady. Dude, you and me, we used to be together. Every day together, always. I really feel that I'm losing my best friend. I can't believe this could be the end. Like, you could say that to her, and that would just change her whole... Dude, that's the perfect song, bro.
Aren't you basically breaking up with her at that point?
Yeah. Wait.
Are you giving your wife the boot?
No, dude. It looks as though you're letting go, and if it's real, I don't want to know. You just say that's your wife, dude.
Worse. She's leaving you.
You are not making a case right now.
Sounds like she's leaving you and you're in denial about it.
Dang you, Gwen Stefani.
And then it ends with, it's all ... So they just leave you hanging.
Awesome.
It's all insert 4-letter word. Good pick, man. Good pick. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, we want to hear from you on social media. I'm sure everybody's got an awesome story about a time when they were just getting heated in the car and then the radio it never fails you. So hit us up on Twitter at YouMeHePodcast or on Instagram at YouMeHePodcast. We would love to hear from you. And fellas, speaking of couples who just can't get things together,
perfect.
It's time for another edition of True Story with Rob Lambert.
Yes.
Gentlemen, Dateline, Clinton County, Pennsylvania. A couple high on bath salts fires a gun at fireflies, mistaking them for alien lasers. Fellas,
where was this at?
Roswell.
Clinton
New Mexico.
County, Pennsylvania. And I must remind you, although this seems fantastic, it is indeed a true story. Here's what it says. Suspected bath salts, green lasers, and fireflies. State police say they are all part of the story that put 2 people in jail. Troopers say that 30-year-old Jesse Shields and 22-year-old Catherine McCloskey were high on suspected bath salts during a bizarre chain of events early Saturday morning. Let's stop right there. Who does bath salts in the morning?
Someone whose life is absolutely terrible.
Wait, you said it was a Saturday?
It was a Saturday morning, and they decided to get it going on the bath salts. What do you guys know about bath salts? What do you like? Do you smoke it? Do you stick it? Stick it?
What?
Do you stick your bath salts?
No, I'm pretty sure you just like put them under your tongue and let them
just stick it.
Stick.
You lick them. You lick the bath salts.
I don't know. I don't do bath salts.
Good for you. Okay, good choice. Wisdom right there. Now, according to investigators, the pair from Clinton County had a, in quotes, bad trip and thought that fireflies were green lasers coming from aliens who were after them. Now, Josh.
Okay, time out, dude. If you do bath salts, there's never such thing as a good trip. From what I've been told. Okay,
dude, I've never seen it go well.
You're not really making your case if you're telling the police that it was a bad trip. Like, it's just you're not in a good land.
Weren't bath salts responsible for the guy who was eating another dude's face in Florida naked on the turnpike?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Yes. There was actually a few instances of that, and I remember being hopeful that the zombie apocalypse was actually happening.
Yeah.
But
wait, what?
It didn't.
Hopeful?
Yeah. Wait,
don't listen to him. He's on bath salts.
You wouldn't want that?
I don't know. Jury's still out. I'm just ready for it.
Anyway. I think one of the main questions that's raised here so far, Josh, it says they thought that fireflies were green lasers coming from aliens who were after them. Now, as our resident conspiracy genius, green lasers from the aliens, is that even a thing? Can you talk about that?
Yes, it is. It's actually plausible. So we live in an enclosed system, right? That you can't really penetrate. However, it is very, very possible for alien life to have sprung from within the depths of our plane. So, yes, what they do use is green lasers, and surprisingly enough, these lasers are built on the juices of fireflies.
So there's some merit. There's some merit to this.
So it's not.
That's why you're here, Josh.
Maybe they actually didn't take bath salts, and that's just how they're chalking up the story to make them
Men in Black
to try and cover it up. Yeah,
I did see the pictures of them. They did not look like drug addicts at all.
Yeah.
Dude, Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith are all over this. Okay, so it says, state police say that Shields this is the guy, okay, the 30-year-old guy, fired his revolver in the air to scare away the lasers and then ran to a nearby home where he asked the homeowner to call the cops because something, not someone, something was chasing them. Now,
wait,
this is where it gets...
Did you just say that he fired his gun
into the air
to
scare away
the lasers?
The lasers and something that was chasing them.
Okay.
Now here's where it gets if it isn't weird enough, here for me is where it gets a little weird. Okay, while the person was on the phone calling 911, the guy allegedly broke a window at the house, then ran to the neighbor's house, broke a window there, and then just ran off.
Okay.
He just went on a window breaking spree. He then came back to the house, asked if he could take a shower because he needed to get the, in quotes, goo off of him. I think the main question that's raised here is,
where do you get bath salts?
Yes. You know what? It's not going to get any better than that. That was True Story with Rob Lambert. There you go. All right. Now, fellas, as we come to the end of our time, as always, let us talk about what we've learned. Number one, although it sounds crazy, it sounds like there may actually be aliens in Clark County, Pennsylvania. And if anybody here is able to call BS on this, it would be Josh. And he's a believer.
I'm a believer. I'm also a believer, though.
Yeah, if you're in Clark County, just watch out. Number two, I think we can all agree that lake water vasectomy sounds like the coolest place to go get one. Doesn't it sound like a high-class joint?
It does
really
sound
is.
pretty relaxing, almost like a massage.
Come on down to lake water vasectomy. It's not going to get much better than that. And on that note, we just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's been listening and supporting the show. Make sure you go leave us a review wherever you get your podcast because it helps out. Make sure you check out Work-Life Imbalance. You can find them on iTunes or on Twitter at WL Imbalance. Good stuff. Make sure you check them out. You can follow the links in the show notes for that. And until next time, I'm your host, Rob Lambert.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
And Drew Carroll.
That's right.
Are you-
This is my wife.
Nice.
Are you hitting a home run?
I like you.
Good night, everybody.